Hey everyone, welcome back to the English Learning Key podcast, where we help you improve your English through simple, natural conversations. I'm Anna.
And I'm David. It's always great to have you here with us. Whether you're listening while relaxing, studying, commuting, or just taking a break, we hope this episode becomes a helpful part of your learning journey.
No pressure, no stress. Just listen carefully, stay relaxed, and improve step by step.
Exactly. Small, consistent efforts lead to real progress over time.
All right, David, today we're focusing on a very important skill, how to practice English listening effectively. And in this episode, we'll go deeper than before, with more detailed strategies and real-life guidance.
Yes, because listening is not just about hearing English. It's about understanding meaning, recognizing patterns, and training your brain to process language naturally.
Many learners spend a lot of time trying to improve speaking or vocabulary, but without strong listening skills, conversations can still feel difficult.
That's right. Listening is the input and speaking is the output. If the input is weak, the output becomes limited.
So let's begin by understanding what effective listening really means in a practical sense.
Effective listening means you are not just hearing sounds, but actively processing information, identifying key ideas, and following the speaker's message without getting lost.
It also means staying mentally engaged instead of letting your mind wander while audio is playing.
Exactly. Passive listening, like playing English audio in the background while doing something else, may help with exposure, but it is not enough for deep learning.
So, one of the most important habits is active listening.
Yes, active listening requires your full attention. When you listen, you should focus on the speaker's words, tone, and meaning.
For example, you can ask yourself simple questions while listening. What is the topic? What is the speaker trying to explain? What are the main points?
These questions guide your attention and help your brain stay focused.
Another key idea is to listen with a purpose.
Right. Before you start listening, decide what you want to achieve.
For example, maybe your goal is to understand the main idea, learn new vocabulary, or improve pronunciation awareness.
Having a purpose makes your listening more focused and effective.
Now let's move to one of the most powerful techniques, repeated listening.
Yes, repetition is extremely important. Listening to the same audio multiple times allows your brain to absorb details gradually.
The first time, you might only understand the general meaning.
The second time, you catch more words and phrases.
And by the third or fourth time, the content becomes much clearer and more familiar.
This happens because your brain starts recognizing patterns, sounds, and sentence structures.
So instead of constantly switching to new materials, repeating the same content can actually improve your understanding faster.
Exactly. Depth is more valuable than just variety when it comes to listening practice.
Now let's expand on combining listening with reading.
Yes, this technique is especially helpful for learners who struggle to understand spoken English.
You can listen to an audio while reading its transcript at the same time.
This helps you connect spoken language with written language.
It also helps you notice how words are pronounced differently in natural speech compared to how they appear in text.
For example, words are often connected, reduced, or pronounced quickly in real conversations.
After reading along, you can listen again without the transcript and see how much you understand.
This strengthens both comprehension and listening memory.
Another highly effective method is shadowing.
Yes, shadowing is when you listen to a sentence and repeat it immediately, trying to match the speaker's rhythm, tone, and pronunciation.
This technique trains your ears and mouth at the same time.
It improves your ability to recognize sounds quickly and respond naturally.
Over time, shadowing helps you internalize sentence patterns and speak more fluently as well.
Exactly. It builds a strong connection between listening and speaking.
Now let's go deeper into choosing the right listening material.
Yes, this is often overlooked, but it plays a major role in your progress.
If the content is too difficult, you may feel frustrated and lose motivation.
And if it's too easy, you won't be challenged enough to grow.
So the ideal level is slightly above your current ability, something you can understand most of, but still find some unfamiliar parts.
This keeps you learning while still feeling comfortable.
You can choose materials like beginner-friendly podcasts, short conversations, interviews, or educational videos with clear speech.
Gradually, as your listening improves, you can move on to more complex content.
Now let's address a very common challenge, dealing with unknown words.
Yes, many learners panic when they hear words they don't understand.
They stop listening, replay the audio repeatedly, or lose track of the conversation.
But the better approach is to accept that you won't understand every word.
Instead, focus on the overall meaning of the sentence or conversation.
Often, context gives enough clues to understand what is being said.
So even if you miss a few words, you can still follow the general message.
That's a very important listening skill in real-life situations.
Another useful strategy is prediction.
Yes, prediction means trying to guess what you will hear before listening.
For example, if the topic is about food, you might expect vocabulary related to ingredients, cooking, or restaurants.
This prepares your brain and makes it easier to understand the audio.
It also activates your thinking and improves focus.
Exactly.
Let's also talk about note-taking in more detail.
Yes, note-taking helps you stay engaged while listening.
You can write down key words, main ideas, or important expressions.
This keeps your mind active and prevents distraction.
Later, you can review your notes to reinforce what you learned.
This is especially useful for longer audio content.
Another important aspect is exposure to different accents and speaking styles.
Yes, English is spoken in many different ways around the world.
If you only listen to one accent, understanding others may feel difficult.
So, it's helpful to expose yourself to a variety of accents gradually.
This improves your flexibility and prepares you for real-world conversations.
Exactly.
Now let's talk about building a sustainable listening routine.
Consistency is the most important factor in long-term improvement.
You don't need long sessions. Even 10 to 20 minutes daily is enough, if done regularly.
You can listen during your commute, while doing light tasks, or during breaks.
The key is to make listening a natural part of your daily life.
Over time, this repeated exposure strengthens your understanding automatically.
Another helpful idea is mixing different types of content.
Yes, variety keeps your practice interesting and balanced.
You can listen to conversations, stories, interviews, tutorials, or even simple discussions about everyday topics.
Each type improves different aspects of your listening ability.
Now let's talk about mindset again because it plays a huge role.
Yes, many learners feel discouraged when they don't understand everything.
But that's completely normal, especially in the beginning and intermediate stages.
Even advanced learners sometimes miss words or need repetition.
So instead of focusing on perfection, focus on gradual improvement. Celebrate small wins, like understanding more than before or catching new words.
That positive mindset keeps you motivated.
Exactly. Now let's connect everything into a clear summary.
To practice English listening effectively, you should listen actively with full attention, set clear goals, and engage your mind while listening.
Use repeated listening to deepen understanding and combine listening with reading when possible to connect spoken and written forms.
Apply shadowing to improve pronunciation awareness and listening speed.
Choose appropriate materials at the right level and expose yourself to different accents and speaking styles.
Don't panic about unknown words, focus on context and overall meaning instead.
Use techniques like prediction and note-taking to stay engaged and organized.
Most importantly, build a consistent daily routine even if it's just a short time each day.
Listening improves through exposure, repetition, patience, and consistency.
It's a gradual process, but with the right approach, your understanding will improve significantly over time.
Before we end, let's share a few useful real-life phrases related to listening.
For example, could you repeat that more slowly, please?
Or, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that clearly.
Another one, can you explain that in a simpler way?
And, I understand the general idea, but I need to listen again for details.
These phrases are very helpful in real conversations when you need clarification.
Now here's a practical challenge for you.
Choose one audio or video in English and listen to it multiple times over a few days.
First, listen for the main idea without worrying about details.
Then, listen again and try to identify key phrases and expressions.
Next, follow along with a transcript if available.
And finally, try shadowing a few sentences to improve both listening and speaking.
This combination of techniques will strengthen your listening abilities step by step.
Thank you for spending this time with us today.
We hope this episode helps you understand how to practice English listening more effectively and confidently.
Keep practicing regularly, stay consistent, and trust your progress.
We'll see you in the next episode.
Take care and bye.
Bye.